Hello, everyone, and welcome to Precision Roll Grinders webinar series. Today, the webinar is on rubber material savings through precision roll grinding, and specifically on rubber producers and their calendars. We hope that you all continue to stay safe through hopefully what is a shortened COVID-19 problem here as we go forward. But we do appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. We're going to take about 20 or 25 minutes to go through this. At the present time, everybody is muted just to control background noise. However, there is a chat function. If you have a question that comes up throughout the webinar, please feel free to use that. And at the end of the webinar, if you do have a question, we'll unmute everybody or give you the ability to unmute yourself and ask a question. So we'll go ahead and get started. Rubber calendars are precision equipment. Therefore, they need precision roll grinding and services to really operate in proper condition. We've just done a little bit of an outline here on some of the rubber calendaring systems, and it's difficult to take advantage of these features without precision rolls. The cross-action control functions, automatic temperature control units, hydraulic roll bending, fully integrated drives, dual text to roll let-off stations, everything involved with these precision calendars really require precision rolls. So what are the foundational principles, fundamental would work too, to having precision calendar rolls? Number one, it's uniform sheet caliper or thickness. It's also uniform roll surface temperature transfer, and importantly, it's startup and run life. Once you get new calendar rolls ground in your calendar. So uniform sheet thickness matters. It matters quite a lot, obviously. Reduce material usage due to a thick or wavy sheet and eliminating that. Reduce defects due to localized thinning in the sheet. Improved end product construction. Reduces defects caused by deviation in that sheet thickness. It improves construction productivity because you have a more uniform sheet of rubber coming out of your calendar. And we work with our customers to quantify this. Our partners in the rubber industry have worked with us. We've got quantified real-world case studies that show, as you can see here, what's circled, the profile of the sheet coming through the calendar before and after. And then subsequently, we want to partner with our rubber customers to make sure we quantify that. What's that worth to you in real economic value? So as you can see, again, in this example, there's quite a lot of variation in the caliper profile or thickness profile to begin with. Much of that is eliminated with proper roll grinding and servicing, and it leads to real economic value. Now, part of that real economic value, I know there's a concern. A lot of these rubber calendars are not designed necessarily or not positioned in a place where it makes roll removal easy, because we do remove the rolls with you. However, we've been very successful, not only in North America, but internationally, working and partnering with our customers to do that in the most expedient way possible. And then at the end of the day, we have to take that into account when we're looking at real economic value. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Not only does sheet thickness or web thickness matter and the uniformity and the lack of variation there, but uniform roll temperature matters. Uniform roll surface temperature transfer, and subsequently the total run out of that roll as it's operating because of efficient heat transfer, I should say. So the temperature controls are important. Reduce sheet scorching and hot spots, preventing thermal runout. Again, that total runout due to plugged passages. This can also cause machine direction variation not just in the cross direction of the web, and obviously increasing production speeds with consistent heat transfer across the web and in the machine direction as your calendar runs. Roll life and startup matters. Precision maintenance is more than just precision grinding. It's thorough inspection of bearings and housings. Um, it's proper assembly of those bearings and housings, especially Timken cup and cone double roll bearings. It's replacing worn or damaged bearings and bushings. It's journal repair and replacement. And it's starting up on time and producing profitable product as quickly as possible. And you can see some pictures there on the right-hand side, particularly on the bottom right of before and after. These calendars work hard. They work in tough environments. And we want to make sure that we partner with you that these rolls are right when they go back in. So again, you don't have to worry about them for an extended period of time. So the precision maintenance, again, is more than just precision grinding. It involves a real holistic look at your rolls. It involves looking at closures, thoroughly inspecting those closures, repairing and replacing where needed, replacing gaskets, retorquing properly, the internals of the roll, cleaning interior fluid passages, um, eliminating cold and hot spot potential because of that, inspecting for buildup, ensuring there are proper flow rates. The surface, obviously, the grind, but also repairing roll surfaces if there are damaged areas, carbide recoating for longer roll life. We partner with our rubber customers to do all of that. Journals, obviously. The roll is only as round as it's on the face as it is at the journal, right? So complete repairs available from brush grinding, chrome and nickel plating, replacement of the inner race, other components as required. We take, again, an entire look at this roll. And again, what we're talking about that's so critically important, the profile. Not only making sure that that roll shape, the roll roundness is right, that the concentricity is right from the journal up, that all the bearings, housings, mechanical is correct, that your heat transfer passages and heat transfer issues are correct, but computer control profiling is available to produce a specific roll shape. So again, all these things go into play, and we partner with our rubber customers to make sure that this is all considered as we service the roll. This is again a real life case study. Roll life obviously matters, and startup matters. And when a roll is ground to 2/10,000ths, as shown in this graphic, as opposed to 8/10,000ths, the life of the roll is relative to the wear of that roll. The wear of the roll is relative to the initial deformation, right? And it's not a linear relationship, meaning the closer you can start that roll to perfectly round, the longer obviously it's going to run before it gets to a point where you have to regrind it, as shown in the dotted orange line at the top. So it may not seem like a big difference initially that you have a roll that could come in and be placed in your calendar at a tolerance of 2/10,000ths versus 8/10,000ths or a thou. But as you can see here, in 6 months, that 8/10,000ths or a thousandths has worn to the point that it really ought to be reground. Contrary to that, because it's not linear, you can see that starting at 2/10,000ths really has a slow slope and then begins to ramp up over time. And in this real world case, we looked at 15 months versus a 6-month period. Now those periods may be much longer for a calendar, but this relationship stays the same. We wanted to talk a little bit about the limitations behind block grinding. Machine direction caliper cannot be optimized. Because of the nature of block grinding, you cannot achieve necessary concentricity and roundness, meaning that you're only grinding relative from one roll relative to the next. You're not looking at concentricity of the roll face to the journal and the bearing, so that machine direction variation can never be corrected. If it is running like a cam at a small level, it's going to continue to run like a cam because you cannot correct that with block grinding. Secondly, the cross-direction caliper variation. Shape and profile is limited. If we go back to this graph, it's really limited to a thousandths. So you're already beginning that roll wear in a spot that a roll that goes in at 2/10,000ths or even tighter takes quite a while to get to. So cross-direction caliper variation is limited, and because of these issues, the calendared sheet is not going to be as uniform. And when it's not uniform, there's waste in that. There's material waste in not having that uniform caliper, that uniform thickness of the rubber web as is being produced. And product tolerances obviously grow because of that. So we'd be happy to talk to you in more depth about block grinding versus precision grinding. We understand that it's a concern that these rolls have to come out of a calendar to get precision ground, but we've worked with a number of customers, some of them for years or decades, on doing just that, doing it successfully, in showing that return, that value return over time, even though it seems like quite a big hurdle on the front end. So what are the savings through precision roll grinding? The rolls are ground to 2/10,000ths on bare journals. We talked a little bit about concentricity. That roll needs to be round from where it sits in the bearing to the face. It corrects machine direction sheet caliper issues. The roundness of the journals and roll face are made concentric to 1/10 of a thousandths. You grind to proper concentricity and run out so that you eliminate that machine direction variation. It corrects cross-direction sheet caliper variation. The shape and profile are also ground to very, very tight tolerances. And the finish calendared sheet has uniform machine direction and cross-direction caliper, much less variability. And product tolerances are uniform and accurate because we know that these sheets of rubber go into numerous products downstream, and those products downstream are dependent upon the consistency and the lack of variability in the calendared rubber sheet. So we'll review this case study a little bit again, which shows that the waste in the rubber sheet profile there on the left-hand side, right? And the variability that affects downstream products. And then the effect of a precision grind and what that meant to this customer, which was over $500,000 a year in savings. So again, we're committed to partnering with our customers in the rubber industry to show this, to develop a proper design of experiment, to make sure that we're capturing the correct data, we're quantifying it, and we're documenting that with you. So that leads us here. Precision roll grinders promise to provide value. We are committed to proving and providing real economic value due to precision grinds on your rubber calendars, in your rubber calendar rolls. So how does that look? Generally, it's data that we talked about, right? You have sheet thickness variability data, you have sheet thickness data. We analyze that before and after. We work with you to show that we're able to reduce the variability so that you can shift to be more productive. You can shift the overall thickness perhaps of that web of rubber because now you're not compensating for areas that are too thin or too thick, right? You can optimize your process. And ultimately, we drive towards a predictive equation that you can look at so that you know what to expect when you have a precision ground roll go into your machine. And at the end of the day, it needs to provide real economic value. So we talked about the data analysis, joint design of experiment to reduce variation. We work with you to make sure that we're looking at the gaps, we're looking at the hurdles, we're looking at the areas of inefficiency that are critical to you. Not what we think going in, but what you think, or what you know, I should say, are critical parameters in your process. And while we're still in a bit of a virtual world, it's freeing up some, but any troubleshooting we can do on rotational equipment, specifically around calendars, um, we can do that virtually as well. You can send us videos, pictures, we get on the phone with you and help troubleshoot those issues. We truly drive, one of our missions is to drive to be a trusted advisor with our customers, and we don't take that lightly. We know that that means that we have to bring our expertise to bear to help you improve your process and drive real economic value. So we're at about 16 minutes. We're a little early, but we just wanted to go through that in a nutshell, and a bit of our history and a bit of our justification as to why we feel precision rolls, and particularly precision ground rolls, are so critical in your rubber calendars. We would encourage you to reach out to your local account manager. There's contact information here for each of our facilities in North America. And this graphic doesn't necessarily do our justice to our business in the rubber industry. We do international business. We do have a manager in Latin America, Jefferson Leite, that you can reach out through our website or any one of these numbers and get in touch with Jefferson. Jefferson is in Brazil, but takes care of South America, Central America, Latin America for us. We've done work internationally beyond just South America and Central America as well. So again, we would encourage you to look through our website, to reach out to your local account manager, or to contact us at one of our facilities so that we can begin to work through the value proposition on how critical it is to have precision grinds on your rubber calendars. At this time, I'll unmute everybody and see if there are any questions. I'll also look at the chat to see if there are any questions that you may have at this time. So there was a question about international. Yes, we are international. It's again, Jefferson Leite is our manager in South America. We've done business in Latin America with tire producers, specifically on their calendars. So we're comfortable with the level of expertise that we can bring there to help your process. A second question on how long do these experiments last? It depends. If we're able to work with our partners in the rubber industry on gathering data on sheet variability, particularly around thickness or caliper, prior to a change in the installation of a precision roll, then it can work relatively quickly. Right, we can go back as far as you would like us to, and then take a look once the rolls go in at the reduction in variability going forward, and then partner with you on what that means, what you're able to shift in your process, and the economic value that that brings. And another question was, well, how do you do the analysis? It's a great question. We have an application engineering group that is trained in Six Sigma methodology. We have the software packages that support that, and we actually bring Six Sigma rigor to these analyses, so that we know that statistically there has been a valid shift in your process that was not necessarily affected by anything else. So that we know that we've captured the true value that that these precision grinds can bring. Okay. Another one came in, question, due to COVID-19, are your 4 plants of PRG open 24 hours? Yes, we're running to full capacity in all our facilities. It's a great question. Thanks for asking. There's been no interruption in our service, no interruption in our supply chain. So any roll service needs that you have, we can still uh, take care of the same way we were able to a number of months ago. And I'll add a little bit to that. We also have the ability for expedited work if that's something that you need. Um, we build that ability into our operational models. So if there's a wreck, for lack of a better term, let us know. We can work with you to work through that. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, we're right at 20 minutes. We appreciate everybody's time. We would encourage you again to go out on our website, contact us. This webinar will be available on our website soon, along with some other information. And please come to us with your questions. We're here to be that trusted advisor for you on your roles and on your calendar stack operations. Again, thank you for your time, and we hope to be talking to you soon. Goodbye.